Tonight, a fatal shooting in Kitchener.
This neighborhood is getting really bad, and before it was good, and now it's getting really bad.
A neighborhood reeling, and police looking into links.
What we can say at this point is we do believe that there are connections to organized crime in this investigation.
With organized crime. Tracking violent incidents in the region.
Waterloo Region is a relatively safe place compared to a lot of other places in Canada, and certainly by far more safe than most cities in the United States.
How this year's data on gun crimes and homicides compares to last year's. Plus, Memorial Cup bid concerns. The partnership that had the Kitchener Rangers asking for a closer look at Guelph's hosting win. Good evening. We begin with the first fatal shooting of the year in Waterloo Region. Gunfire along a residential street in the Country Hills area of Kitchener late last night. A 32-year-old man is dead. Let's go live now to CTV's Colton Weens at the scene on Century Hill Drive. That is in the Bleems and Homer Watson area. Colton, take us through what we've learned.
Well, Tony, it is still very early on in the investigation, but police do believe that this was a targeted shooting. They don't have any suspects so far, but officers were canvassing the area today, trying to get a little more information. Police are also asking the public for more information to try and track down whoever's responsible. A heavy police presence on Century Hill Drive in Kitchener Monday night. Police responding to multiple reports of a shooting in the area, arriving to find a 32-year-old Kitchener man with gunshot wounds and pronounced dead at the scene.
The male, a 32-year-old from Kitchener, was pronounced deceased at the scene. The investigation does remain ongoing by our major crime unit.
Police say the man was shot inside a vehicle. A white SUV could be seen crashed into a tree on Century Hill Drive Monday night.
I did see the vehicle. I saw when they were doing their forensics. I watched them tow the vehicle away, and the body, the coroner did take the body, and it was very hard.
Police have not said whether the white SUV is connected to the shooting. Witnesses saying they believe the man shot lived in the area.
I'm not quite sure who the person is, but they do live in the complex.
I saw a bunch of police presence, ambulance, fire trucks. It was very hard and impacting, and knowing that there was an active shooting close to home, it touched.
This is the first fatal shooting in the region this year.
It's very hard, and seeing the family mourn and just not being able to walk outside without knowing that there might be someone still out here and we don't know.
The neighborhood is getting really bad, and before it was good, and now it's getting really bad. It could have been one of us that got shot by accident. If we were walking out here at 10 o'clock at night, 10:30, we could have got shot.
Investigators are canvassing the area for any information or video they can gather and believe organized crime may have played a part.
So our major crime unit do believe that this was a targeted incident, so bear that in mind with public safety.
Century Hill Drive was closed between Old Country Drive and Bleems Road for the investigation. Police are searching for any tire tracks or footprints that may be relevant to the incident. Now, a resident of the nearby housing complex tells us they believe there are cameras inside the complex, but they don't believe that they're working. That resident will at least plan to install a camera on their unit going forward. Now, police also expect to have a presence in the area as the investigation continues. And again, they're asking anyone with information or video of the incident to contact them. Tony.
Okay, Colton Weens reporting live on Century Hill Drive with that fatal shooting investigation. Colton, thank you. As mentioned, this is the first fatal shooting of the year in Waterloo Region. It's also the fourth homicide. CTV's Krista Simpson joins us now, looking into more data on this year's violent incidents. Krista.
Well, Tony, there have been a few shootings in the region over the past 2.5 weeks, though police say at this time they do not believe what happened last night is connected to any other of the recent incidents.
There have been a total of 17 shootings in Waterloo Region in 2025 so far. This is the first fatal one. 8 other shootings involved injuries and 8 did not. 2 shootings happened in the past 2.5 weeks. Back in November, police released video of shots being fired in an incident involving two black vehicles at the intersection of Bridgeport Road East and Weber Street North. Police say 51 shots were fired there, and it is believed someone was hurt. 2 days later in Cambridge, shots were fired at a home in the Fiddlesticks neighborhood. No one was hurt, but police released video hoping to identify the people and vehicle involved.
That's a big assistance to police. Putting them out there may prompt somebody's mind that looks like so-and-so, that walks like so-and-so, that car looks like my ex-neighbors, or whatever the case may be.
CTV public safety analyst and former OPP commissioner Chris Lewis says shooting investigations face specific challenges.
9 times out of 10, the people that are being shot at within homes or in cars know who exactly is shooting at them. So their cooperation is key. If they're involved in criminal activity, then at times they're very reluctant to speak about that. But let's face it, if the police don't find out who shot at them, they may be shot again, and next time they may not be able to talk about it.
In some of the region's shootings this year, there have been arrests. For instance, in an investigation where shots were fired at a housing complex near University Avenue East in Waterloo in April, a 15-year-old boy and a 25-year-old man from Halton Region were quickly arrested, and then a 24-year-old Kitchener man was apprehended in July. Back in June, a 13-year-old was arrested and charged after multiple gunshots were fired in the area of a housing complex on Monte Carlo Street in Kitchener. And 2 Kitchener residents in their 20s were arrested quickly in August after shots rang out at a motel on Victoria Street in Kitchener. Regional police say at this time last year, there had been 21 shootings in the region, 4 of which were fatal.
Waterloo Region is a relatively safe place compared to a lot of other places in Canada, and certainly by far more safe than most cities in the United States.
Waterloo Region has seen a total of 4 homicides this year, though Monday night's incident is the first that involves a shooting. In November, a 44-year-old woman was found dead in the old Fire Hall apartments on Highland Road West in Kitchener. A 40-year-old woman has been arrested and charged with first-degree murder. And in September, a 70-year-old man was found dead in an apartment in the Cameron Street North and Weber Street South area of Kitchener. A 29-year-old woman was soon charged with second-degree murder. Police continue to investigate the homicide of 36-year-old Elizabeth Spurgeon of Cambridge, releasing this photo in their efforts to trace her whereabouts in the days before her death. She was found deceased in the area of West River Road and Brant Waterloo Road in North Dumfries on September 12th. Regional police say there were a total of 5 homicides in 2024. There were also 5 homicides in the region in 2023. Tony.
Okay, Krista Simpson joining us live with those details. Krista, thank you. Turning now to some other news. It's a big night over at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium. The Rangers hosting the Erie Otters, and CTV's Leanne Evans is on hand because, Leanne, tonight the Rangers are also showcasing a yearly tradition at the Aud in tonight's game.
Yes, Tony. So tonight is the Teddy Bear Toss. Of course, it is an event that all Kitchener Rangers fans look forward to annually. And this is actually the 30th time they are running this initiative. So whenever the first goal is scored by the Kitchener Rangers, fans will throw all their teddy bears onto the ice down there. The game will be paused for a quick moment so that volunteers and staff can go down and clean them all up, because it's a lot of teddy bears that get thrown out down there. Last year, over 10,000 teddy bears were tossed. And if you think about it, this place holds about 7,777 fans. So people are bringing even more than just one teddy bear down here. And we have a fan here who has brought more than just one teddy bear. Tell us your name.
Pierce Scott.
Okay, Pierce. So who do you think is going to score the first goal tonight?
I'm going to go with Alexander Balecki.
Okay, and how soon do you think it will happen into the game?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I want to say 3 minutes.
Okay,
Probably
3 minutes.
Into the game, yeah.
Okay, and what did you bring with you tonight?
I got 2 teddy bears here, one in the bag and one out, yeah.
So you're going to throw them down on the ice?
Yes.
And you're a young Kitchener Rangers player yourself. What is it that you like about hockey and the Kitchener Rangers?
I mean, hockey's like, it's fun to watch, it's fun to play, and yeah.
Okay, thanks, Pierce. Go Rangers, go.
Yep, go Rangers, go.
Okay, let's take a look at the forecast now. Out there in Waterloo Region, we saw plenty of sunshine through the day today. A little bit of cloud cover starting to roll in as well, and we are set to see some snowfall here locally over the next couple of days. Temperature-wise, we're sitting at -6 in KW. It's -6 through London, -5 in Ridgetown, and -4 in Windsor. So temperatures a little bit below seasonal for what we're used to this time of year. However, with that sun, we did notice it was quite a beautiful day here in December locally in southwestern Ontario. So yeah, Kitchener Rangers, Erie Otters, 7 o'clock puck drop. We will check back in with you later on, Tony, because fans are just starting to pour in here now. Back to you.
Sounds good. Okay, Leanne Evans live at the Odd on Teddy Bear Toss night. We'll see you soon, Leanne. The RCMP said today they teamed up with other law enforcement agencies to seize a large quantity of fentanyl and other illicit drugs over a 5-month period. There have been thousands of arrests and charges following a focus on traffickers, production labs, distribution networks, and financiers. CTV's Judy Trin has more.
These investigations took place on opposite ends of our province.
For months, police across Canada, in big cities and small towns, have been targeting organized crime.
We did find this group had certain photos or emblems.
Between May and October, a joint strike force of more than 100 police agencies focused on taking illegal fentanyl off the streets. Police seized 386 kilograms of fentanyl, more than 1,700 kilograms of methamphetamine, and nearly 6,000 kilograms of cocaine, along with more than $13 million in cash.
There's some big players here, and there's some smaller departments, but it's a real shining example of the feds, the provinces, and municipal agencies all working together.
A chunk of fentanyl there.
This is the second time that a national effort was coordinated by the RCMP to target deadly opioids after Donald Trump accused Canada of not doing enough to stem the flow of fentanyl across the border earlier this year.
Canada's a very bad abuser.
The RCMP say more than 8,000 arrests and charges were laid involving 200 organized crime groups. Despite the record quantities of seizures, investigators say fentanyl is being trafficked for domestic use, not being exported.
The source is not each other. The source is from external countries, external regions. So fentanyl is not going certainly from Canada to the U.S.
The RCMP say China continues to be the biggest source of precursor chemicals that go into the making of illegal fentanyl. In the near future, the Mounties plan to target ports, rail yards, and airports, along with drugs that are sent through the mail. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, confusion over the future of local conservation authorities. Community leaders weigh in on the province's plan for a mega merger, turning the local agencies into much larger entities.
I'm Heather Center, and concerns are popping up about the bidding process to host the 2027 Memorial Cup. Nearly 2 weeks after Guelph was announced as the host city, the other finalists, the Kitchener Rangers, asked the CHL to investigate a possible conflict of interest. That story is just ahead.
Well, we are here at the Kitchener Odd, the Kitchener Rangers and Erie Otters facing off in tonight's Teddy Bear Toss game. It's the 30th time for this event to be held here at the Odd. So when will the Rangers score their first goal and who will get it? We'll find out coming up, plus your full forecast just ahead.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news.
Nearly 2 weeks after Guelph was named the host city for the 2027 Memorial Cup, its opponent in the bidding process is raising concerns. The Kitchener Rangers asked the Canadian Hockey League to look into whether there was a conflict of interest after a new partnership was revealed. CTV's Heather Senerin joining us now live with more. Heather, you know, the Memorial Cup, certainly one of the most sought-after titles in junior hockey.
So you can imagine how badly both finalists wanted it, Tony. When the Kitchener Rangers lost the competition to host, they were okay to move on until last week when a new partnership between a Guelph brewery and Hockey Canada was announced.
The Guelph Storm won the golden ticket to host the 2027 Memorial Cup, beating out the other finalist, Highway 7 rivals, the Kitchener Rangers. But 1 week after Guelph was chosen, the COO of the Kitchener Rangers felt uneasy. Hockey Canada announced a new 3-year partnership with Sleeman Breweries, not only based in Guelph, but also the owners of the naming rights to the Storms' home arena. I asked the CHL to investigate whether or not they felt as though a conflict of interest existed. It was important for me. The Canadian Hockey League confirms the Rangers did raise concerns with them, and a spokesperson for the CHL stressed, "We can state unequivocally that there was no conflict of interest, and we have full confidence in both the independence and expertise of the site selection committee." The site selection committee has 5 members, all with sports experience. Site selection for the Memorial Cup is conducted with the utmost rigor by the CHL, the CHL said. The vote to choose Guelph over Kitchener was 4-1, with all scores submitted anonymously. Each bid was evaluated across 4 key categories: business operations, community engagement and atmosphere, event logistics, and hockey operations. When it comes to the recently announced Sleeman deal with Hockey Canada, a spokesperson for Hockey Canada said partnership discussions with Sleeman Breweries have been underway for months, led by Hockey Canada's sponsorship agency, Unite Partnerships. Birch says he just wanted to clarify if a conflict of interest existed. "We don't think anything was ill-merited on anybody's part on the CHL selection committee. In the future, he hopes there's more transparency between bid committee judges and prospective Memorial Cup hosts. I do believe we want to be advocates and agents of change and try to help make sure that future processes are better." The CHL says there is no formal appeal process for Memorial Cup host selections, and the decision to host it in Guelph is final.
The CHL estimated that hosting the Memorial Cup could bring in upwards of $12 million to the community. It will be held in the spring of 2027. Tony.
Heather, thank you. CTV's Heather Senerin reporting live. The Grand River Conservation Authority could soon be a thing of the past if the province follows through with a plan for a mega merger. It's looking at reducing the number of conservation authorities from 36 to just 7. CTV's Jeff Pickle finds out what local community leaders think of that.
From camping to trail maintenance, environmental protection, and flood management, the Grand River Conservation Authority does a lot and covers a lot of area, from Dundalk to Lake Erie. Ontario Bill 68 would collapse 36 conservation authorities down to just 7 and put the GRCA into the largest network, stretching all the way to Windsor, over 350 kilometers end to end.
The area for the Lake Erie one is huge, all the way down to Windsor from up north. And so that's quite a culture shock. It's 81 municipalities.
The province says the new approach will bring central leadership, efficiency, and better direction and oversight.
So the goal, I think, is to stabilize conservation authorities across Ontario. Some of them don't have the finances to fund the experts.
North Dumfries Mayor Sue Foxton says she agrees some change is needed, but has concerns.
When they kept asking us the questions of, well, how would you do it? I kept thinking they don't have a really good plan.
She says the new area is too big and could jeopardize local knowledge and expertise.
Bring in the ones that are struggling into the GOCA, or let's find a way that we can share our professionals with them to help bring them up to the level that we all need to be at.
Board Trustee Pan Wolf of Cambridge is more critical.
I guess my primary concern is the lack of local autonomy, and that we're seeing more and more with the province.
Wolf is concerned an emphasis on efficiency comes at the cost of safety.
A little distrustful of words like streamlining processes. What does that mean? You know, sometimes we have the process and we have things for a reason, and often it's safety.
Dan Lawrence from Haldimand County, hopeful the province can find middle ground.
I think there's some very good dialogue with regard to an agreement
that change is needed. But I think really at this point, many are in agreement, too big, too quick.
With no plans yet etched in stone, the GRCA board members are hopeful their input doesn't get washed away.
Definitely, it's moving forward fairly quickly, but they are listening to us, I believe. I want to be optimistic.
The GRCA board meets again to discuss this issue and any developments on December 12th. Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Kitchener.
At Queen's Park today, the province's Auditor General released her annual report. The focus this year, healthcare. Among other things, the AG says Ontario is falling short when it comes to connecting people with primary care. CTV's Siobhan Morris has details.
Ontario's Auditor General finds big gaps in monitoring doctor billing practices. In her annual report, Shelley Spence flags physicians putting in for over 100 hours in just a day, 365 days of work a year, and far more than their peers, sometimes all three.
Those were all very shocking to me.
The government estimates anomalies could cost taxpayers in the ballpark of $500 million a year.
If there is waste in the billing system, and we're not saying there is, we're just saying it needs to be reviewed. And if it could be recovered, you could use that money to hire more family physicians.
The parliamentary assistant to the Minister of Health, dismissive of eyebrow-raising bills.
Well, no, we're not. Maybe you're talking about hypotheticals. I'm talking about an actual process.
He explains healthcare and its billing system are complex.
So we need not automatically jump to an assumption.
The Ministry of Health says the problem cases the auditor identified are being investigated.
This isn't really about the individual doctors as much as it is about the fact that the government refuses to put enough people in charge of monitoring these things.
The auditor also flags a lack of collaboration and planning on getting Ontarians linked to primary care. While the province has boasted about clearing half of a waiting list,
Healthcare Connect is failing to meet the moment. Ontario health teams are saying it's not working, patients are not using it, family doctors are not using it.
Spence notes that only about 11% of those without a doctor are using the service.
Maybe if you advertised that it's available to people, it might start working.
Ontario hasn't updated its communication plan to tell doctors and patients about the program in a decade.
For generations.
This was the biggest year on record for government advertising, $112 million through the end of March. 38% of that bill covered ads the Auditor General describes as being mostly to foster a positive image of progressive conservatives.
It's important both before or after an election cycle for the public to be informed with nonpartisan government advertising. That is what we're doing. That is what we're committed to.
A rule change by the previous Liberal government allowed this kind of advertising.
That was the wrong thing to do. It makes me mad. Not as mad as I am about the way they're spending money right now.
The government's defending disorganized management of its PPE stock, something that's led to $1.4 billion worth of gloves, masks, and gowns
literally being thrown away. Blown up in smoke.
The auditor says some of this stuff expired or was purchased post-pandemic in long-term contracts. The gear not always fitting the needs of the people who use it.
Yeah, well, I guess I would ask a question. Would you like substandard PPE to be used with your children?
That report from CTV's Siobhan Morris at Queen's Park. And now let's take a live look from our tower camera at King Street in Midtown KW, looking toward downtown Kitchener in this shot. And if there was one nice thing about today, it's that the sun was back out again, and that actually allowed some of the roads to dry up a little bit. So conditions improving after all that snow and wind we saw over the last several days. But what's the rest of the week look like? Leanne's going to fill us in when we check in with her live at the Odd coming up in a few minutes. Also ahead, Christmas costs. CTV's Alexandra Hollick looks at the ways some people are budgeting for the holidays during tough economic times. And later, Spencer Turcotte takes us to a new food truck that's more than a spot for a hot meal. It's also a story about an incredible personal comeback. Big night at the Kitchener Memorial Auditorium, and Leanne Evans is live on location. Leanne, it's the 30th annual Kitchener Rangers Teddy Bear Toss, always a fan favorite, and on that note, fans starting to filter in now.
Yes, they are, Tony. And now I can finally hear you. I was having some technical difficulties earlier. But yes, fans are starting to pile in. We've seen a lot of teddy bears being held in their hands. That is because it is the 30th annual teddy bear toss here at the Aud tonight. The Rangers taking on the Erie Otters. Warm-up just getting underway here right now as well. So all of these bears collected will be going to charitable organizations across the region, of course, ahead of Christmas time. And we are joined by Chantel, who is the game operations and retail manager for the Kitchener Rangers. Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so this is one of the big game nights that you guys have. Of course, fans look forward to it every year. What does it take to put on this kind of event?
Definitely a lot of moving parts. We have our teams out there for the pickup teams. We have our Canadian Tire volunteers who are the sponsor of tonight's game. So there's about 30 of them. But then there's also people behind the scenes trying to reach out to organizations, trying to find who the bears are going to go to at the end of the day.
And where are all these bears being distributed?
They'll be headed towards local charities throughout the region, so local schools, organizations, all different places to help those in need this holiday season.
How many bears would you predict that you're going to see on the ice tonight?
Last year we had about 10,000, so we are hoping for that number, but we're also happy with about 8 or 9,000 also.
Is it a sold-out house tonight?
It is. I believe standing room was released this morning, so we are looking at around 7,000 people. So if everyone brought at least one bear, we'd have at least 7,000 bears.
Okay, perfect. And how long will it take all the volunteers to get the bears off the ice? Because we know that the game will be paused for just a little bit of time. How long do you think that'll take?
Hopefully we'll have a record year this year, but around 9 to 10 minutes. Shouldn't take any longer than that.
Okay, perfect. Chantel, thank you so much.
Absolutely, thank you.
Okay, let's take a look at the forecast and what's in store for this week here in southwestern Ontario, right across Waterloo Region. We are going to start with our futurecast, and we're starting to see that cloud cover really pick up. It was certainly nice to see all that sunshine that we had out here today. You'll notice some bands of active weather making their way in off the shores of northern Lake Huron throughout the overnight hours Wednesday, and that's making way for the next system that we're going to see move through southern Ontario, and with it bringing heavy amounts of snowfall for some, lighter flurries for others. So it will depend on where you're joining us from and how things are going to play out over the next couple of days. We're going to be keeping an eye on things. Temperatures across the country look like this. It's 6 degrees in Vancouver, -4 in Calgary, -7 in Winnipeg, it is 0 degrees in St. John's, 3 degrees in Halifax. Here closer to home, we're sitting at -6 in Kitchener-Waterloo. Many surrounding communities hovering that same mark. -6 in London, it's -5 in the Chatham-Kent area, -4 in Windsor, and -5 in Mount Forest. Here at home, we reached a daytime high of -2, which is slightly below seasonal for this time of year. However, it did feel warmer when you factored in that sunshine. It felt quite comfortable out there. A perfect day to get out for a walk, maybe do some cross-country skiing. Very enjoyable conditions outside today. The low -7, that came in the overnight hours, and that is right on seasonal. Overnight tonight, temperatures are dipping down. So if we notice some of that snow melt earlier today, we have to keep that in mind, because into the overnight hours, we could see slicker conditions, especially if you're getting up early for an early morning commute where temperatures are going to be dropping to the minus double digits. Tomorrow, rebounding back up to -1, and that chance of some snowfall here locally. That will be the case over the next couple of days. And then to end off the work week, cloudy skies, -4 the daytime high, before a little bit more snowfall moves in to start off the weekend. In the Windsor area, plenty of sunshine is on the way for you. Notice the overnight lows on Thursday, though, -13, quite chilly. But yeah, plenty of sunshine. Very lucky if you're joining us from Essex County. In southern Georgian Bay, you will see some snowfall over the next couple of days as well. But the weekend will be starting off with some sunshine and the chance for flurries as well. All right, so some of these bears that you're going to see thrown out on the ice tonight will be going towards the Salvation Army and Toy Mountain. And, you know, we've been collecting in studio for Toy Mountain, but it's not just us. There's schools participating as well. We had a chance to go to one of those earlier today. Take a look. We are here at John Sweeney Catholic School today, where the kids have been building a toy mountain right here at the school. Emily Owens is the teacher lead of the campaign. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Okay, tell me about the campaign here at the school and what it's been like so far this year.
So we've been doing the Angel Tree Toy Mountain here for a number of years. It is a great way to really bring the school together. It's a great community building activity for the classes, and it's a great way to support those in need in our school community and beyond.
What are some of the things that you think it's taught the kids and what they've taken away from it?
I think it's really teaching them a lot of empathy, a lot of understanding for those maybe less fortunate in our community, and it's really teaching the kids to help others and give this time of year, especially with our Catholic values at our school. It's really showing what the true meaning of Christmas is about.
Okay, great. And this is a full school initiative. We're here with some of the kids who have been taking part and taking the lead on it. We're going to talk to some of the students now. What is it about Toy Mountain and what does it mean to you?
Well, Toy Mountain is about helping the less fortunate. I feel happy for the people who get to have Christmas toys, and I would feel really sad for the people who don't get to. So I love donating, and yeah.
That's great. It's amazing what you guys are doing and coming together as a school as well. Why do you think that all kids deserve to have something to open Christmas morning?
So then they can feel like special and they can feel like they matter to like people, because if they don't get it, if they're younger, they might not understand why, if their parents don't have a lot of money to get that, they might feel like they don't matter.
And you guys are helping them do that by building your toy mountain here. What does it mean to you to get to give back during the holiday season?
I think it's really good to give back during Christmas time to such a great community, and it feels really nice to do that as a person, and it's just a wonderful way to give back.
Great. And the way that these students have been taking on this initiative is through something called the Angel Tree. You're going to tell us what that's all about.
So Christmas is a special time. It's about spreading the love and joy that Jesus came into our world. So what we do at our school is we decorate a Christmas tree with lots of angels with age numbers. So it would be 0 to 4 or sometimes 7 to 8. And we have different numbers, and people who want to donate will either choose if they want to donate to a girl or a boy and what age gap. And they bring toys. This way we can give it to a more wider range of kids, and we also spread the love and joy that Jesus brought into our world.
It's fantastic. And you can probably see this toy mountain behind us. It is already starting to build, and these students will continue to keep building this toy mountain over the next couple of weeks. So as you can see, those kids are doing a fantastic job building their own toy mountain at their school. And again, some of these bears from the Teddy Toss will be going towards Toy Mountain and the Salvation Army. So we're going to have to wait and see who will score the first goal and when will it happen. You'll have to check back in with us a little bit later on, Tony. Puck drop, 7 p.m. between the Rangers and Erie Otters.
We'll be watching. Leanne, thank you so much. Well, coming up next, a Grand Bend woman is calling for a crypto crackdown. The scam that cost her a plan to buy an accessible vehicle. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas outside, but you may also feel it in your wallet. CTV's Alexandra Hollick now on the rising cost of the holidays.
The smell of fresh Christmas trees lingers in the air at Groby's Nursery in Breslau. The scent of a season often filled with significant spending.
Things are a little tighter, that's for everybody.
A survey from the Retail Council of Canada suggests Canadians will stick to a similar budget to last year, hovering around $975.
But they're shopping with sharper intent. They told us that they're going to be more inclined to look for sales, deals, and promotions.
So if the budget isn't there, so you go to something less expensive.
At Groby's, trees range from $20 for a table centerpiece to upwards of $200 for a full Fraser. And the owner says tighter purse strings aren't stopping people from picking up the perfect pine, spruce, or fir.
It's one of the few expenses, little luxuries, I think, that they might say is a necessity for the Christmas spirit and the Christmas feeling, and they'll invest in that.
But the cost of Christmas doesn't stop here, because what's a Christmas tree without presents underneath it?
Gifted is about actually putting thought into a gift for someone. So we curate it by making sure that we try to have something for everybody.
This shop in Kitchener is filled with goods made in Canada and in Kitchener-Waterloo. A sentiment the survey says still rings true through a tumultuous year for the economy.
86% said they plan to shop close to home, and 84% still told us that they will look for Canadian goods. But what they told us is that price remains the #1 decision factor ahead of brand loyalty or location.
The same goes for ethical shopping.
It's hard to express the care for these values in the store environment when you're just confronted with these prices, because price takes a very dominant role in our decision-making process.
But local business owners say whether it's a tree or trinkets, when it comes to your Christmas budget, don't sell yourself short.
I do think that you are able to find things that are budget friendly at small local shops, 100%.
We want folks to realize that they can afford to do Christmas.
Alexandra Hullick, CTV News, Kitchener.
Recapping our top stories now with Ashley Bacon in studio and the latest on a fatal shooting investigation in Kitchener, Ash.
That's right, Tony. A 32-year-old Kitchener man is dead following the first deadly shooting of the year. Police say they were called to Century Hill Drive around 10 p.m. Monday night. They say it appears to be a targeted incident with possible links to organized crime. No suspect information has been released by police. The Kitchener Rangers have raised some concerns over the 2027 Memorial Cup selection. The Canadian Hockey League says there was no conflict of interest when choosing the host city. The Guelph Storm ultimately won the bid, but the Kitchener Rangers admit they had some concerns when Hockey Canada announced a 3-year partnership with Sleeman Breweries just 1 week after Guelph was chosen. The CHL told CTV News that they have full confidence in the selection committee.
And Ashley, online, our digital teams got a story up about an unlicensed driver getting into trouble with police.
That's right, Tony. A man has been charged following a crash with a snowplow. The incident happening just the other day. Police say the driver has been charged with careless driving, driving with cannabis readily available, and driving without a license. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on your CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Tony.
Ashley Bacon with our top stories. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
A disabled Grand Bend area realtor has lost $70,000 in a cryptocurrency scam. She planned to use that money to buy an accessible van. CTV's Scott Miller has more on her call for banks to up their scam protection measures.
Tabitha Burley started investing with an online cryptocurrency company last September. At first, everything was going fine. She was seeing gains and was able to withdraw money with relative ease.
And then things went sideways. December 2024, you couldn't withdraw to a wallet. You had to now purchase a card for $5,000 or $10,000. And fast forward to September 30th of 2025, and I realized I was in trouble.
Burley, who's been in a wheelchair most of her life, had sunk $70,000 into the crypto scam by September of this year and was unable to withdraw any of it. She reported the scam to her local CIBC bank, who told her because she knowingly made the e-transfers and loans, there was nothing they could do for her. The money was gone.
I've been a customer of theirs for 32 years, and that's the thanks I get. It's not okay. And that's why the scams continue in whatever form the scam may be.
Canadian Bankers Association says while banks are committed to stopping crypto frauds and scams, banks have no visibility once money is sent to a cryptocurrency exchange, and this is why scammers often leverage crypto as a vehicle to facilitate scams. Banks take many steps to protect clients from potential frauds while balancing their responsibility to follow our clients' instructions for access and use of their money. Burley is far from alone. In Lambton County alone, there have been 241 fraud investigations this year alone, many involving cryptocurrency. In nearby Huron County, nearly $1 million was lost from August to October in 10 separate scams, 9 of them involving cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's really sad to see. It's frustrating, actually, because I know people have worked hard for their money,
and now they're losing it so quickly online.
Burley wasn't just trying to make a fast buck. She was trying to make money to help her buy an accessible van so she could finally drive herself instead of relying on others.
I'm still on that journey, like I'm actively doing it now, but financially, I don't have what I thought I was going to have to get to the van portion of the journey.
In Lambton County, Burley says the OPP are trying to get local banks to contact them directly when suspicious withdrawals are made from people's accounts. Burley says if that was in place, she might not be in the position she's in. Near Grand Bend, Scott Miller, CTV News.
He's back and he's serving up a whole new chapter. Just ahead, CTV's Spencer Turcotte tells us how one man fought through a health setback to do what he loves once again.
Holiday set decoration provided by Royal City Nursery.
From a hot dog hotspot to hot food on wheels. After a health-related setback spanning 3 years, it's a new beginning for the former owner of a popular Cambridge diner. CTV's Spencer Turcotte gives us a look.
Welcome to Doc McCheesy's. Behind this food truck is a familiar face. You may remember Todd Johns from his Preston Wienery. What up, Doc? He had to choose between his business and his health.
In 2022, I got diagnosed with stage 4 kidney failure, and I also lost my vision. And I'm single father of an 8-year-old girl that I've got full custody of. So I had to make a hard decision, like, do I want to keep working and put my health at risk, or do I want to shut her down and spend time with my daughter?
That decision was made for him after he had a diabetic seizure at work. Later that year, he set up a temporary food truck outside of Rhythm and Brews in Cambridge. But for the last 3 years, he's had to turn his attention to himself.
My kidneys are operating at about 3%. I'm at risk of losing my right leg from a diabetic foot ulcer. For a few years, it was like I was looking through wax paper. I forgot what my daughter looked like.
Naturally, he ended up spending a lot of time here at the Ocular Health Center on Kingsbury Drive in Kitchener, the spot where his new venture, a permanent food truck, is parked.
Dr. Weinstein up there is great. He got me in for a procedure called a retinopathy. We were talking, and they have no food available. And their patients and their caregivers and drivers are here sometimes 3-4 hours at a time. So we decided to put a food truck out front.
Despite being on dialysis for 10 hours a day, Johns refuses to just sit at home.
Oh, ever since Bob Barker died, there's nothing on worth watching. Daytime TV is horrible.
So rather than try to work out the cost of a new restaurant, he figured the price is right for a food truck.
Figured grilled cheese and mac and cheese would go great, and I started doing garden salads with homemade dressings. I got fresh-made donuts and bagels every day.
He's stationed on Kingsbury Drive Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and also does deliveries. On weekends, he's available to cater. And despite his hot dog history with What Up Dog, if you're wondering how he settled on Doc McCheesy,
his wiener man was taken.
Spencer Turcotte, CTV News Kitchener.
All right, let's check in with Leanne once again over at the Odd.
Well, fans are rolling in here at the Odd as the Kitchener Rangers get set to take on the Erie Otters in tonight's annual Teddy Bear Toss. So we'll find out more about that and have your wake-up weather coming up after the break.
Tune in to CTV tonight. There's lots on tap, including The Big Bang Theory, followed by MasterChef Canada, and one of my personal favorite shows to watch lately, The Traders Canada. It's all coming up on CTV tonight.
Back to the Odd we go for one final check on the forecast. Leanne Evans standing by. Puck drop minutes away, Leanne.
Yes, it is, Tony, and the Kitchener Rangers will be facing off against the Erie Otters. Of course, tonight is the 30th annual Teddy Bear Toss. As we mentioned earlier, last year, just over 10,000 bears were thrown onto the ice when the Kitchener Rangers scored the first goal of the night. That didn't come till the second period last year. So fans that we've been talking with here are hoping it comes a little bit earlier. I've heard 3 minutes into the game, 5 minutes into the game, 15 minutes into the game. So we'll have to wait and see, but all the fans have been saying first period, it's got to happen, it's got to come down then. So we'll wait and see. Puck drop just underway in a few minutes. Let's take a look at your wake-up weather while we do so, and we are going to be seeing some cloud cover through the day tomorrow, mostly cloud cover, of a little bit of a sunny break after sunrise, sun rising at 7:36 a.m. In that 8 o'clock hour, we could see a bit of sunshine, but for the most part, it will be cloudy with a heavier wind gust through the day tomorrow, depending where you join us from, chance of some flurries as well. So that's that. We'll have to wait and see what happens here tonight. But of course, this night is all for a good cause. These bears will be going to charity organizations all around Kitchener, Waterloo, and in Cambridge. So let's hope the Rangers get on the board early. Tony.
Absolutely. Okay. And by the way, some very well-spoken guests tonight, I have to tell you, Leanne. Those kids at the school and at the Odd, just laying things out beautifully, making us really appreciate the holiday season. All right, well, that is it for us tonight. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back at 11:30 with your next local news. And by the way, CTV's Karis Map is also over at the Odd tonight, following all of the details associated with that teddy bear toss tonight. So she'll be speaking with fans and players at the Odd. And of course, I'll bring you highlights from the game itself as well. Our digital team brings you news anytime over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Back at 11:30 right after the CTV National News. Take care. Have a good night.